So a common question I get from clients and prospective clients is, will my SIRVA symptoms ever go away? Will this ever get better? First thing I say is, I'm not a doctor. I'm not your doctor. It's really hard for me to answer that question. If you have questions about your injury, how to treat it, and the prognosis, I would first go to your doctor. But I can speak just in general terms, based on my experience handling these cases, about SIRVA, what I see in terms of treatments, and, outcomes. What I can say is that, it varies. It's definitely case by case. SIRVA, of course, happens when a vaccination is administered into your shoulder and causes inflammation of your shoulder joints. The tendons, the ligaments, or the bursa becomes inflamed, and that causes pain. It causes reduced range of motion. It causes diminished strength. And all these things can range in severity and duration. Typically, the types of treatment that I see, our clients get includes, conservative methods like physical therapy, anti-inflammatory, medications, steroids, sometimes steroid injections. A lot of people have great results with these sorts of treatment methods. It does take time, obviously, but, I'd say the majority of our clients do see close to full resolution of their symptoms between 6 and 12 months. Now, some have even faster recoveries. And then also, some are not so lucky, where you may have more severe SIRVA injury, which requires surgery, which obviously prolongs your recovery. And then there's, on rare occasions, some people don't recover fully from this injury. They may have some residual, pain, some residual range of motion issues. That is sort of the new normal. So, obviously that's unfortunate, but it does occur. Another good reason to go to the doctor is, SIRVA isn't really a diagnosis. It's a legal term that we've come up with to explain this phenomenon. So your doctor will get more specific regarding, exactly what's wrong with your shoulder. That could be something like bursitis or tendinitis, inflammation of those things. It could be adhesive capsulitis or frozen shoulder. You could have a rotator cuff injury or tear. In that regard, it's important to go to your doctor because he or she can get more specific about what may be wrong with your shoulder joint. Now, within the context of the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, they have a requirement called the Severity requirement. And that means that you're ineligible for compensation unless your symptoms persist for at least 6 months. So if you experience a SIRVA injury and you've been experiencing the symptoms of that injury for more than 6 months, I would encourage you to give our office a call at 312-578-9501. We can talk about what happened and whether or not you have any recourse. So if you'd like to learn more about SIRVA, you can text us at 312-847-2428. You can text us SIRVA, and we'll ship you a copy of our book all about SIRVA. And we explain more about the injury and how we get compensation for our clients.